Let me start by a statement. If the people who were elected to serve North St. Louis, if they would address crime, if they would address poverty, and they would do restoration from a community injuries, being North St. Louis can be stopped by our I believe I believe that if we had the people that were elected for North St. Louis to give, if they would provide us some we could empower North St. Louis by the citizens of North St. Louis. I want to thank my staff for helping me. And that's Miss Angela Towers. She's taught them the assistant director. And I'm going to give her really a round of applause because she does always and she helped me. She helped me take more from Virginia. And then we want to thank the YMCA for Mr. Rob West. Let me give you a little bit of information about Temple Praise Ministry. Well, my daughter, Jasmine Rita Love Perry, was murdered on Natural Bridge in August 2019. Y'all tell me the date, I'm like, in love. Her case remains unsolved. Well, before that, Temple of Praise Ministry just had religious purposes. But after that, we expanded into educational and to charitable purposes because we know that something can be done to decriminalize North St. Louis. It's something that we can do as community members to help stop. You can't stop all crime, but some crimes can be prevented if certain services are in place. I believe that. So here it is, the recreation purposes. We are a Christian ministry. We believe in Jesus Christ, and we are Christian faith. Our educational purposes, what we focus on is education and talking about our voters registration drive. We are keen on about educating people not only about the election date, but who are we voting for? Some people, we know the big names, but we typical praise ministry, we are now focusing on the little big names that we have to vote for. And we don't know, we want to get those people charitable. Our charitable purpose, what we are doing now, we have built a relationship with P.T. Bosley, senior homes. We go there once every quarter, and we are expanding. We're expanding those services to them. And some services that we try to do in North St. Louis, but we were prevented because of the licenses we need. And we'll go into all that later. But that's just giving you an idea of what Temple of Praise Ministry does as we do, because we're not a church. We are a Christian faith, but we are servants. Our ministry serves. Empowerment partners. I got two empowerment partners here. County, Green, tell me the organization is. Yes, and empowerment partners, what they do is they link with Temple of Praise Ministries to be expanded. We're essential to them. We work hand in hand together. So Lonnie was working with us at Empowerment Day last year, and it was very good because we actually had a going to talk to you about quickly Temple of Praise Ministry, the I Am model. Identify, assemble, and merge. You heard me talk about that all the way around about everything. It has a different perspective to whatever we're talking about, but identify, assemble, and merge. Top news. April 2nd. It's the last day I heard the absentee ballot was the vote the second, and the absentee ballot is Wednesday. Yes, sir. And then in 2020, this year, we are getting ready for My Vote Counts. Because a lot of people, and I'm going to be very brief on this, did not vote and will not vote because they think that the elections are rigged. But we want to change that perspective. Temple of Praise Ministries. We want to give people a reason to go out and vote and to make them know that their vote counts. Can we get applause on that one? Because that's going to be a hard one to do. Empowerment Day is coming up. August the 24th, 2019. We need to get 50 people to sign up so we can do a blood drive that day. Also, we are interested in doing a money walk on Empowerment Day. Last thing I talk about as far as the ministry is our campaigns. Again, be empowered. When you see be empowered, that is us. And we're talking about anybody. You can be empowered over any situation. That year that my daughter was murdered, I had my mother to pass and my grandmother to pass the same year. You can be empowered even over grief. Okay? Dental hygiene campaign. If you have anybody, we have a few here. We're linked up with the Dental Association, and they gave us 144 dental hygiene bags. And we would like to give some more. Okay? Last thing about Temple of Praise Ministry. We're introducing, because of P.T. Bosley, we are going to do shawls for seniors. So we're looking to get people that know how to shawl, knit, and do those things so we can bless the seniors this winter with shawls. Next segment, we're going to talk about, the end of this segment, we talk about my North St. Louis. I'm from North St. Louis. I went to Harrison School in North St. Louis. I graduated from Courtney Ritter College Prep in North St. Louis. Can I say this? I ate at Wilbur's in North. Y'all know about Wilbur's. I had me dragon burgers in North St. Louis. Can somebody tell me what y'all about your North St. Louis? Huh? My North St. Louis, I believe, is our North St. Louis. I know you say you're from the pure outlaw. Let's go into our introductions right here. This is introduce yourself. Tell me a fact, a North St. Louis fact about you.
I'm Jimmy Edwards. I am a former judge for 25 years in the city of St. Louis. Can you guys hear me back there? All right. My name is Jimmy Edwards. I'm a former judge, 25 years on the circuit bench currently. I am the Director of Public Safety, which means that the police department reports to me, the fire department reports to me, the jails report to me, building inspectors report to me, excise tax reports to me, the Oversight Commission reports to me, events report to me, about 68% of the city's workforce report to me, and a little over about $600 million of your tax dollars come to me. And so that's who I am. And my North Side fact, I grew up in North St. Louis City. I still live in North St. Louis City. I went to Vashon High School. My kids attended public school until they went to Carter Ritter. And so I'm through and through a kid from the city of St. Louis.
All right. We thank him for attending. Our next panelist, esteemed panelist.
My name is Representative Bruce Franks. I represent the 78th District. That's as far south as Anheuser-Busch, as far north as Crown Candy, and everywhere in between. I was an activist before I was a state representative. I'm glad she talked about, empowering our votes because our votes do count. I was one of those people that didn't believe my vote counted until I ran for office. And it made it more recognizable for young folks that feel the same way, for me to talk to them and them to relate to me because I was them. My North St. Louis fact is I'm from 4300 Gibson originally, so that's the south side. But in 1990, probably about 93, we moved to the Cotton. And I stayed in 1406 North 9th Street, apartment 504. And I went to Patrick Henry, and I live on the north side now. And so it feels good to be back on the north side so I can not only help bring those resources there, but you can't forget where you come from when you're still there. So.
All right. Slate is in the house.
Yes. Hi, my name is Sonia Waters, and I am the Division Director at Slate Missouri Job Center. And I'm basically here to empower you all for our awesome job opportunities for employment. Also to introduce you to more of our trainings that we have, awesome training programs. So I just want to say before you leave, make sure you sign up with me for your family, for your friends. I just want to encourage everyone to be a part. We're about a 3 generation. So if you're not interested, maybe your kids are interested. If you're not interested, maybe your mom is interested. Let's get everyone employed as much as we can and all the awesome opportunities to skill ourselves up. As far as North County or North City, I'm actually from Illinois, but I can't say my experience on the north side is my dad, Benny Smith, was a blues musician. Grew up right on Penrose, so I was always in the area. Anyway. There you go.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Again, my name is Ebony Cooper. I'm here with St. Louis Recast, and like her, I'm also here for the empowerment portion and purposes to get community voices heard and issues dealing with violence prevention, youth empowerment, mental health, and peer support. We'll get a little more into that later, and I'll be here the whole time and have more information if anyone wants to talk to me one-on-one. My North St. Louis facts, I'm not from North St. Louis, but my parents are, so, and my grandparents, and so I did spend a lot of time on North Sarah and also down in Walnut Park. Hi, I'm Heather McDonough with National Alliance on Mental Illness, and we have an affiliate here in St. Louis. NAMI, yes, NAMI St. Louis. So all of our programs are free to the community. We offer mental health support groups, also classes, and we go out to schools and an Ending the Silence program. All of that is free to the community, as well as sharing hope, reaching out to the African American population in the churches. So we have a resource table here today. We'd love you to stop by. I am from Washington State, so I have no idea about any. Yes, you have to forgive me on that. So thank you.
We'll give her a pass on that.
Yes, thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Nicole Barton, and I also work for the Department of Public Safety. I'm the Executive Director for the St. Louis City Civilian Oversight Board, and we oversee complaints against current, active, sworn St. Louis City Police Department officers. We over the past 3 years since our inception, we have worked very, very closely with Force Investigative Unit, Internal Affairs Division, and I'm also working with the St. Louis City Police Academy. We're working on revamping some of the training, working on de-escalation training. We're working very closely on implicit bias, improving and expanding the implicit bias training that we have within the department. One of my legal investigators is in the room also, Ms. Lyle. Please raise your hand. And North St. Louis, I'm not St. Louis native, originally born. I've been here for 18 years. The family that I do have in St. Louis live right over on Maffitt, about 2 blocks from Tandy. And my son is also a graduate of Cardinal Ritter College Prep.
My name is Kelly Anderson. I'm here on behalf of Comptroller Darlene Green. I'm her attorney in the office. My name is Kelly Anderson. I'm here on behalf of Comptroller Darlene Green. I'm her attorney in the office. As far as my North Side fact, I used to swim every summer in the Blue Mire Pool. So I guess that's my North Side.
So we want to thank everybody for attending. I always will say that the work while we hear discussing strategies for addressing crime, poverty, and the various inequalities I have on my claim faced by North St. Louis. New strategy of community outreach that will address crime, poverty, and other inequalities at the same time. That is our goal today. So, how did we get from a crime problem to a crime crisis? I'm going to let public safety director talk about that. Before that, I would like to say that, and if you look at the 2016 Understanding Our Needs, you will find out that in the zip codes in the report stated that there was an extreme disparity between black and white neighborhoods. If you look at the St. Louis crime statistics, the data concludes that North St. Louis is one of the main, they call it a triangle at the last meeting, of the problems with crime. Now, if you Google St. Louis, you're going to find out that the internet say it's the most dangerous, it's one of the most dangerous cities in America and one of the most dangerous cities in the world. Now, that's what kind of messed me. It might not be true for it, but I say, but but to even be mistaken as one of the worst cities in the world, one was very troubling. So I would give maybe somebody saying, I think I'll step on every so you guys can hear me, and the panel can hear me, and we can have a lot of conversations. Before you got here, I was the only one that was here with the comptroller. I was feeling pretty good because I was going to maybe give you a whole bunch of information. So let me just start by addressing just a few of the things. I take about 5 minutes to address a few of the things that you guys have seen on television, and to try to clarify some of those things, and then maybe drill down. And so you saw on television recently that a lot of police officers had been arrested, right? I mean, and so you're asking, my God, why are these officers being arrested? What's going on? Is the police department being dysfunctional? Let me just tell you that when I took the job back in December of 2017, I ordered an audit of our internal affairs department, which means that I replaced our internal affairs commander, ordered an audit, and we looked at it what our police officers had been engaged in going back to 2014.
And so I looked at 2014, we looked at all of those files, all of those complaints. And some of those things upset me. And I sent them to the FBI. And they got indicted. I sent some to the circuit attorney. And they got indicted. I'm not asking for any applause here. But what I'm trying to do is explain to you that these arrests did not just happen because something happened in a week. We went back and looked all the way back to 2014. And I started to say, you know what? I got to fix this. And so we started to fix that. You've also heard about the things going back and forth with the police chief and the circuit attorney. Let me clarify that. We don't have a problem with the circuit attorney. I've been a judge a long time. I respect the independent entities that are involved in the criminal justice process. The police is an independent entity, the circuit attorney is an independent entity, and so is the court, and the jury, and probation, and parole, and corrections. I respect that process. And so when we start talking about police officers being not cooperative, or perhaps not being true, well, that's not unique to the city of St. Louis, and it's not unique to 2019. That's been going on for decades and decades and decades. We fix it, and we look at it so that we don't run into this problem again about who's in charge of these types of situations. I entered into a memorandum of understanding with the circuit attorney, so I wrote it down. And so if there's a problem, she will contact our IAD. And if they can't fix it, then it comes to me and I get it fixed. And so that's how we're going to do this, so we're not stumbling over each other. It's important that we don't let people who have a problem with an African American police chief and an African American circuit attorney divide them. We can't allow that to happen. And if you continue to buy into the narrative, that's what happens. Police accountability. Police officers being outside of their districts. Well, I'm going to fix that because now I have ordered 240 computers that will go in every police car in the city of St. Louis with GPS so that we can follow them. I expect that our sergeants and our lieutenants will now become mentors to our young officers. You see, we have a lot of young officers. They do 31 weeks in the academy. They do 12 weeks on the street with a field investigative officer, and then they go back to their cohort, that 21-year-old, 22-year-old. Now they will have mentors for 3 years. They will have a mentor that will check on them. And so what we really want to do is we want to make sure that our officers continue to get the support and the experience from the older officers. So what we're trying to do is fix some of that. And so with the GPS and with our mentoring program, I think we'll be able to address some of those problems. We are commissioned for 1,328 police officers in the city of St. Louis. At any given time, I'm 140 to 145 officers down as a result of attrition, family medical leave, disability, and vacancies. We just graduated 26 from our academy. I have 2 academies in session, each with about 30 young officers, and then I will open up another academy in April. So we are working extremely hard to try to fill those vacancies. Also, I have a cadet program. I have a cadet program because I need a pipeline. And so I'm looking for 18-year-olds and 19-year-olds and 20-year-olds that have a high school diploma or either is a senior in high school. I'll pay you $15 an hour. I'll put a little suit on you, give you a little stitch badge, and let you walk around downtown. And not only that, I will pay 1 year of your college tuition. See, because you can't become a police officer until you're 21. So from 18 years old and 19 years old, I'm gonna keep you close, and I'm gonna keep you out of trouble. I mean, I'm law and order. If you've ever done jury duty with me, you know I'm law and order, and that's who I am. You know, I don't care about all the noise. And so if you come with us, we're going to keep you out of trouble and we're going to make you a police officer. For the first time in the history of the St. Louis Police Department, I'm hiring 2 recruiters that are not police officers. I'm hiring recruiters because I need to build a culturally diverse police department in the city of St. Louis. I have an African American male that's coming on April the 15th. I have an African American female that's coming on April 15th. What I'm doing differently, we've spent all of these years and all of these decades going into high schools trying to recruit kids, going into colleges trying to recruit kids. My focus with these new recruiters will be young men and women that are mentally fit, that are physically fit between 30 and 45. I'm looking for older officers. So I'm going to go into the churches. I'm going to go into the school. I'm going to go where people are looking to change their career. So if you're mentally fit and if you're physically fit, you can be a police officer. 20 years on the force will get you the best pension ever. That's our problem. That's why we won't have any money in the city because we pay too much pension money out. But it'll get you the best pension ever after you are with us for 20 years. You have to retire from the police department at 65. You have to retire at 65. If you're there for 20 years, we will give you a pension. I know that your daughter died on natural bridge. A lot of you all know that we're trying to address a lot of the traffic stuff. And so let me just give you some numbers. Because a lot of people tell me, you know, I never see police officers, they're never doing this, they don't pull cars over. In this north side rectangle, Goodfellow on the west, Banner on the east, Dr. Martin Luther King on the south, and of course, the graveyard here on the north and down in Bay area. Since January of this year until March 19th of this year, our traffic enforcement has issued 1,224 moving violations. On Natural Bridge alone, we've issued 629 tickets. More tickets on Natural Bridge than any other street in the city of St. Louis because we know that Natural Bridge is the most dangerous street in the entire state of Missouri. In this town, south, because they always beat up on me because they say I'm doing too much north. And I know you're feeling me, somebody down south looking at me. In Dutchtown and Gravois, we've issued 1,272 tickets. In the Central Corridor, down Linden, we've issued 2,504. We've done 348 tickets on Linden, 18 DWIs, 11 DWIs were issued into our rectangle, and we've had 1 fatality. We've issued a total of 6,446 tickets since January this year. Now, that doesn't include all of the tip tag stuff, right? Tip tags. I hate them tip tags. In fact, I know that them tip tags are forged because when people be writing those tip tags, they make their own and they put TIMP and they put 555. Now you know tip's not spelled TIMP, but they be misspelling it. And so I can tell that we're dealing with that, right? So in terms of these tip tags, in 2018, we had 1,419. So far, we have 159. And then we just got people that say, you know what, I'm not going to put them on. People without any type of license plates. Last year, 13,217. So far this year, 2,044. So we're dealing with that issue. Let me deal with another issue real quickly that you've read about, that you've seen in the paper. You know, perhaps some of you will push back on me on this issue. The workhouse, MSI, shut it down, right? Shut down the workhouse. I'm not for that. Let me just put that right up front. I am not for it. There is a national organization that have identified 5 jails around the country. Rikers up in New York and MSI here in the city of St. Louis. Of course, it's followed by Crown. I understand. I get it. We've implemented about 5 programs to help with the reduction of people in our jails. So we work with the Bail Project. I work with the judges I've developed a dashboard with Stanford University providing information to the judges every morning, pushing this information so that we can reduce the population in our jail. Let me give you this stat. At its height, when I was downtown, haven't been gone very long, we had 2,500 people locked up at MSI. This morning, right now, I just checked. It comes on my phone every time somebody's in and out. Right now, this minute, we have 347 people locked up at MSI. From 2,500 down to 347. At CJC, our Justice Center, I have 695 people locked up at the Justice Center. Inside of our jails right now, I have 1 ordinance violation. I don't know why that ordinance violation is there. I need to find out. I have 10 misdemeanors there right now, but I have 1,031 felons there. So the people that need to be locked up are locked up. The people that don't need to be locked up, I don't want them locked up. So now you ask, why don't I close the workhouse? Well, this is the problem. The problem is that I got all of these programs that are not sustainable that's pushing the reduction of crime down. For example, if the Bail Project out of New York or California decides that they're not going to pay bail anymore, or they run out of money, then I got 400 people back in jail. If the judges decide, you know what, Judge, you're putting too much pressure on us about these technical probation violators, you know what, we're not going to listen to you and get them out of jail within 10 days. Now I may have 700 people. And so while I'm pushing it down with 4 or 5 programs, crime on the other end is what? Crime is not going down. I don't have a correlation of crime going down. I just have all these programs pushing people out of jail because I don't want them in jail. So if these programs go away, I'm sitting out here with another 2,000 people or 3,000 people that we've let out of jail and nowhere to put them. So I don't have a problem at some point with reducing what goes on in the workhouse. I just have to be able to manage it. And so I have to be smart about this. And so my issue is not to lock people up just to lock them up. I got to keep you safe. I got to keep you safe. Because when you're comfortable, you can make these arguments. But if somebody you love the most was carjacked and killed, or you were robbed, or your daughter was raped, then you have a different conversation with me. That conversation with me is, Judge, what the hell is going on? Why are these people out on the street? Why do you let them go? Why haven't you caught them? See, I get that question more than I get the other question. And so what I want you to do is just really understand the narrative. Understand what I'm dealing with. Understand what we're trying to do. My first responsibility is to keep you safe. And the second thing, I have to ensure you, and you have to believe that you're safe. And so I'm trying to deal with that. My youngest shooter in the city of St. Louis is 12 years old. My youngest carjacker is 11 years old. It's a shame. I got a 50 most wanted juvenile list. It's a shame. A 50 most wanted juvenile list because they pull the trigger. Because they'll take your car. They're less likely to kill you, but they'll definitely take your car. What can you do for me? In 2017, January 1st, 2017, the state of Missouri became a permitless gun carry state, which means that anybody can carry a gun openly or concealed. It doesn't even have an age on it. I had a police officer that was killed a couple months ago in South St. Louis. Our police officer had an encounter with the 16-year-old over on Carter, not very far from here, with a .40 caliber. police officers couldn't take the 40 caliber. 2 months later, that same 40 caliber was used in that murder of that police officer. I got to deal with these guns. And I appeal to Representative Franks and all of the representatives to help me get these guns off the street because they cannot be prosecuted. So now, I'm not a chump. I didn't figure this out because they can't be prosecuted at the state level. I prosecute them at the federal level. I took 1,200 gun cases out of the state level last year and moved them to the federal court. Felon in possession of drugs, felon with a gun. Now, if we're chasing you, and the police is chasing you, and you run through a school zone, you run through a public housing zone, now I can prosecute you federally for being within 1,000 feet or running through a school zone. And so all these guns have become a problem. I don't have a problem with the Second Amendment. I have a problem when kids are using guns for purposes. So I'm here. I can have this conversation. I'm straightforward. I tell it like it is. If you have questions for me, I'll be here.
I'm glad we have this dialogue because I think that's an excellent program that you will to stay away from the crime. And then you're saying that with your new program, with your officers, that they'll follow the years. That's excellent because sometimes it's the part they don't know what to do in that moment. But when you have that mentor, you have somebody say, I've done this, this is what you do. That's an excellent program. And it was something else you said about the people that had something about fines. They had a lot of fines and things like that. And we're going to talk about it. And I think this is a nice place for it right here. We're going to go to number 4. Just set me up for this. It's like, what is the solution? What is the solution to his problem with the gun? What is the solution for his problem with public safety? So we, in Temple of Praise Ministry, we believe this. We believe that if the people were giving a work activity in their community that's going to meet the need of their community, that would give them an incentive not to engage in so many crimes. I say so many crimes because, again, some things you just can't stop. But there are some crimes that we believe that can be prevented, and it's associated, especially those that are associated with the temp tax, and especially those that are associated with some of those not so violent crimes. We believe that if the people were given an opportunity to pay back through a work activity, not only will it improve them with a skill, it will improve the community. Let me give you an example. Follow with me. Elliott School. Y'all know where Elliott School at? Y'all know where Harrison School at? Abandoned. For how many years? Over 15 years. What if a professional, the city, the professional team came in and tore it down? Why couldn't a team of unskilled people do those tasks and learn how to come to work on time? And you get a skill. And you get other things along with this because you're in this program. What's the other thing? You're getting, I got a ticket that needs to be paid up. adjustment in that community?
Um, much as I love Jimmy, I got to clear up a few things before I get to alternative sentences. Talk about the gun laws. It's 163 representatives. 47 of us are Democrats. So 117 believe that we can change entire Missouri in a wild, wild west, and that's okay. So once they vote, and they have veto-proof majority, because at the time we had a Democratic governor who vetoed that bill. They had the veto-proof majority. They had the votes to override the veto, and they overrode it. So now we do have permitless carry. We do live in a state where you don't need transfer of ownership. We do have lax background checks. What we do still have in place is an age limit on when you can buy your gun. Now, yes, you can carry it wherever, you can open carry, all of that. But if you were found with a pistol and you're not supposed to have one, be it felony, be it age-wise, be it whatever, there's still charges for that. And I know the judge went to law school, he has a well-decorated law career, which I respect wholeheartedly. But that's something that I just wanted to clear up because that was said earlier. Another thing, the tickets and tip tags. Yes, we got some folks out there that get over. We got a lot of folks that's just broke. We got a lot of folks that's just unemployed. We got a lot of folks that do wait till they get their taxes, they get those cars, they find that new job, and whatever happens, right? Whatever happens, we can talk about having 6 or 7 tickets and you finally get pulled over, you finally get caught, and you got that warrant, go to jail, lose your job. You can't not only get your tags, you can barely pay for your car. So we talk about alternatives to census. This is where I come in, and I come from a poor community. I come from folks who had a long life of crime and spent a lot of time in jail. Fortunately, I didn't make that decision, but I saw in my community what needed to change. I'm gonna speak to leadership first, because we can implement all of these policies, we can have alternatives to sentencing, we can have the best laws, but if we don't have leadership up top that's engaged with the community, that knows what the community needs, then we fail. Because what we try to do is we try to duplicate policies. We say, oh, well, Baltimore's doing this, Chicago's doing this, Indianapolis is doing this, this is gonna work. But if we don't duplicate the people that put this policy into place, if we don't duplicate the people that carried it out and understood how and why they were able to carry it out, we just taking something and saying, hey, maybe it could work here because we got the same demographics. Because we're a majority minority city, we're a majority black city. What we got to understand is it starts up top with the leadership. But even if you scrap all of us, public safety director, police chief, state representative, we the community have the power to have those alternatives. Whether we are business owners, community leaders, churches first. Understanding how important the church used to be in our community and how important it needs to be in our community. There's a reason why it's a disconnect. There's a reason why it's a gap there. Because it's just not what it used to be to a lot of us, whether you're young, middle-aged, or even older. The one thing we had in the black community, the one thing we had on the north side, the one thing we had in all poor communities was the church. We didn't have to go to pay their rent, right? We had a food bank right here. If sister so-and-so needed some help, we got enough resources right here to get her what she needs. We could be doing these job fairs inside the church, right? We can be having these elected officials come to the church and talk about the policies, talk about what the church needs, talk about what the community that church needs. And another thing we got to think about is just like I want the police department to live in our community, I want our community leaders to live in our community. I want our church leaders to live in our community. Not just having a church right here on Natural Bridge and Grand and then going to Burrington Downs. Because it's important to be in that community and understand what that community looks like and what it needs. So as far as alternatives to census, if we look inside of if y'all look inside those books, there's something called the peer plan, and I was fortunate enough to talk to Jimmy about it, and we're gonna get together and kind of help restructure that. I helped kind of author the peer plan in 2015. This is before I was elected, because we had those folks who, before they got to jail, before if they were on the verge, right? If they were in those communities and they didn't have those resources, what could we do? So it was PIER, prevention, intervention, enforcement, and reentry, right? The prevention and the intervention came with a lot of our youth. What kind of programs could we do? So what happened was with Slate, we were able to create all these different programs through Slate. We had we had a court program where you can go, and when you go to court for your traffic violation or your minor violation, not only do you get 50% of your fine taken off by being in this particular program, you also get directly connected with a job. And I hope I ain't stealing your thunder, because I know you got it. But you get directly connected with a job. We have youth job program between the ages of 16 to 24. You come in, we put money into the budget on the state level, and the businesses in the community, the police department, circuit attorney's office, lawyers' offices, mom and pop stores, everywhere. Everywhere. You have the opportunity to work in these places, and what the state would do, the state would be the ones that pay those salaries. And the point of that is to make sure that we got our young people who are gaining work experience. And what happened is with the summer job program, over 65% of our youth became either full-time or part-time employees. So what we're doing on the state level right now is recreate that program to work for adults, folks who are over the age of 25. Right? So we're gonna put $7 million into the budget. That's gonna go to 7 different counties. 7 different regions of Missouri. St. Louis and St. Louis County having their own region, $1 million apiece. We'll be able to do the exact same thing we did for summer jobs for our adults. Important part of that is, yes, we need to talk about careers, we need to talk about training, but we got folks that need jobs right now. And a lot of those trainings are great and are needed, but they're not providing money. They're not paying for those trainings. So it's hard for somebody that don't have a job that's trying to make ends meet to go through a 6-week or 8-week training, where now you can get this job right here through the workforce agency, and you can have that direct pipeline into one of those careers while you're still working and making money. Now, we talk about alternative senses. One thing that she was talking about was what we call restorative justice, right? Being able to work off restitution, being able to work off. And that was something that we did heavily on Cherokee Street, because we had a lot of young folks that was just doing stuff because they was bored. That was doing stuff because they had nothing to do. And we know what they say about idle time, right? And when you have young folks that live in this community that might not have that mom and that pops at home, or might be living with an auntie or a grandmother that works still 50, 60 hours a week, it's hard to keep a hand on everything that they do. So we have young folks go out here and they do something they ain't thinking about, bust a window, take something that ain't theirs. So what we were able to do was work with some of those businesses to hire them. You're gonna pay off. You're gonna pay off this window that you broke. You're gonna pay off this $1,000 phone that you just took, whatever it is. But what we saw that after hiring them, they got this whole different sense of work ethic. So a lot of our businesses end up hiring the young people. So now they ain't even working off their restitution no more. Now they working for money. And if you know our communities, especially on the north side, especially on parts of the south side, we got 16 and 17 and 18-year-olds who got kids. We got 16, 17-year-olds who got to put food on the table. So these are the type of opportunities that we have to instill. I came up with this 3-step process that I feel that we need for the community. Hope, consistency, and resources. And they can't work without each other. See, if you just put resources in the community, we have no direct way to amplify them, no direct way to allocate them, we have no leadership to keep it sustainable, then they just resources for one time. We see that all the time, right? But if you got hope first, I show up in the community, I dress like this because this is me, I am comfortable, But when I see my young people, they gravitate to me first. And they come over and they start talking to me. Don't know I'm a state representative. Don't know I'm in charge of a $26 billion budget. Don't know that I have the power to write laws and make laws and push laws and advocate. But I need them to be able to connect with me. That gives them that hope. But we can't give them the hope without not showing up again. So we give them the hope, but we keep showing up because that's what creates the consistency. Once we get the consistency in the community, folks trust you. They know you coming back. They know you're just not here around election time. They know you're just not here to take pictures, to look good, and then be gone. Because what we see in our community is inconsistency on so many levels, whether it's leadership, whether it's in the home, whether it's our parents, whether it's our kids, whatever it is, right? It's inconsistent. So if we show that inconsistency, combined with hope, when we got them resources, even if they small, minute resources, when we got them and we able to bring them in, now we got those folks who are committing a crime. Because, like Jimmy Edwards said, it is a different conversation when you've been through that, when you have a personal experience with that. For me personally, my brother got killed in 1991 on Gibson. He was used as a human shield. Two men came out the house arguing. One shot the other one, picked my brother up and used him as a shield. Christopher Harris. I was robbed at gunpoint 3 months after I was elected. Right downtown. Gunpoint, took my car, took everything. They wanted to get a young man 20 years. He was 19, 18 at the time. Never been in handcuffs. Never got in trouble. Day in his life. Both of us lived. They wanted to give him 20 years. He would be almost 30, 35 something when he get out if he did just the 85% that he was supposed to do. 20 years. He got a 4th grade education, single mother, working 70 hours, making $9.80 an hour, 3 kids. She trying to make it happen. I went to court and I spoke on his behalf. Not for him to get out scot-free. Not for him to get a slap on the wrist, but to say, look, this young man ain't never had handcuffs on a day in his life. Yes, he did something very stupid. Very stupid. But he didn't take my life. I didn't take his life. I wasn't hurt physically. I could replace my car. I got insurance. I could replace the stuff that was inside that car. But if I would have shot that young man with my legal gun, that would have put me in a different mindset because this is the same young man that I help each and every day. The same young man that I mentor each and every day. If he would have took my life, senseless, he would have been in jail for the rest of his life. But we had an opportunity right now to say, look, you messed up and you're going to pay for it. Maybe not with 20 years, but you absolutely going to pay for it. But while you're paying for it, we're going to bring these reentry programs. We're going to bring these resources inside of the prison where you at. We're going to bring these educational resources inside where you at to help you so that when you do get out, you get out to a job. You got a high school diploma. You have a bank account. You have a life coach, and you have a mentor. Those are the type of things that we need to be doing. Nobody's going around shooting and robbing people just because they want to. It might be a couple people, but for the most part, nobody's living this life of crime because that's just what they want to do. If I'm 13 years old and I walk out the house every day and I know I got clothes on my back, shoes on my feet, I go to school every day, I'm never hungry, I got everything that I need. My dad is a drug dealer, my cousins are drug dealers, my uncle's drug dealers, everybody in my community drug dealers. When I grow up, this is what I saw as normal. And that's what's in our community. So it's going to take for us to change that. It's going to take for us, not even me as a politician. We can throw that title out the window. I don't care about being a politician. I care about having this position to have the power to bring resources back to my community. I care about using this position to do what we need to do for our city and our state, especially our disenfranchised and poor black areas. Period. It's not, politics can get thrown out the window with me. The faster we get to hope, consistency, combined with resources, the faster we're going to be all right. The faster we're going to cut down on the crime. It's our public safety director. It's his job to be enforcement. It's his job to be law and order. It's his job to enforce, to ensure safety. It's my job to get it from the other side, and that's attacking it from the root cause. You asked a question. You said, how did we get from this crime being a crime problem to a crime crisis? And that's by not attacking it from the root cause, not realizing that crime, it happens because lack of jobs, resources, education, and stability. Period. In 2018, last year, I passed a bill. I passed a bill as a freshman Democrat that now identifies youth violence as a public health epidemic. A lot of our violence that happens, whether it be victim or whether it be the person perpetuating the crime, it happens because our social standards and what's going on in our community. By doing this, Children's Hospital, Cardinal Glennon Hospital, and other agencies have got millions and millions of dollars these last 6 to 8 months in order to fix this problem. Is it going to get fixed overnight? Absolutely not, because we didn't get here overnight. But understanding the reason we got here is by not addressing crime from the root cause. And that's what my job is. That's what our job is as community leaders, as elders, as younger folks growing up as leaders in the community. We got to get together. We got to communicate with each other better. We got to talk to each other. We got to listen to each other. We got the talking point down. Talking point, we've all aced that. But we have to do a better job of listening to each other so we can fix and mend some of these generational gaps that we have. Some of these generational and these political gaps and the gaps within our faith community and our young folks. It's all our job to do that. It's not one person or the other. One person's not more right than the other, and one person's not wrong. Let's stop the finger pointing and the blaming, because at the end of the day, the only people that it affects is us. And more importantly, him, and her. Because that's who we're doing it for. I'm 35 and I feel like, you know what? I hope I live a lot longer, but time up. It's about these young folks. It's about making sure the future's right for them and making sure they understand how important their voice is, their vote is, and their place in the community and who they are. So that's all of our job. I ain't gonna take up too much more time. I'm good. Thank you.
We get a lot of things that we've been talking about. Restoration, restorative justice. And I say this, and I'll say it again. If the people, if North St. Louis have all these issues, I'm talking about trash now, beautification, and we have those people that have those minor crimes that we representatives say it's not that they're trying to get away, they just don't have the money to pay for their tip tax. They don't have the money to get out of some situations that they're in. And we want to be able to find out how can they pay it off. Restorative justice. This is what Representative Franks just said. So we're going to use that as to say is that we want these people to be able to have some type of skills. And Slate, you coming up next. Come on around, you coming up next. We want some type of job system in place. Like he said, people can't go without an income 6 weeks. Well, I think that if they was going to get restorative justice, that might give them an incentive to participate in a program like this. And I'll say this too. They say, well, what happens after they come off a program like this? Well, I'm thinking this. If I put more work to make sure that this area, and I'm working in this area to make it clean, if I see somebody throwing trash in that area, I'm going to say something. Because I'm going to be investor of my community. I'm going to be a community shareholder. I'm going to take some kind of responsibility and accountability for what I've done. And I'm not going to let nobody miss my community Yeah. So Slate, come and talk to us.
Yes. About empowering, I will say thanks to Bruce for mentioning some of the programs that we offer at Slave. I will say under the leadership of Dr. Alice Prince, she does a great job of empowering us to make sure we understand the importance of what's needed in the community, the importance of the lack of jobs that are needed. Other things are behind me as well. So I will talk about one of our reentry programs, our Compass Rose, that's from 18 to 24, where we actually take those individuals who've been in the system and actually empower them and skill them up with education and have the mentorship to lead them to better opportunities. I will say we have an annual report, and if anyone wants a copy of it, I would greatly give it to you. Right, we had 75 that were currently enrolled, 12 who obtained internship and apprenticeship, 71 received one-on-one mentoring, which was mentioned earlier, 23 were placed in employment, and 18 actually received increased their score in the literacy, which is very important. Sometimes when they come into the office, it's like jobs, jobs, jobs. They don't have a resume, they don't know have the computer skills and things of that nature. That's where we come in. We want to make sure we empower you for that. So when they come with the jobs, we're more like training, training, training. Now we do understand that maybe you can't afford the training. The awesome thing with Slate is we provide wonderful services that will help you pay for that training that you need, whether it's CDL, whether it's truck driving, CNA, things of that nature. Please come and see me and sign up so I can get you going. Right now, also you mentioned city jobs and the trash. Right now we have applications in our office just for city workers. Please come in, register with us, and receive your application to fill it out as soon as possible because the need is now. And we have it now. And we will assist in whatever way we can for those services as well. I will say that right now I would like to let us know the importance of the training. We have a skill up program. So if you're just on food stamps and you would like to be skilled up, you might not have the money for it, come see us. We have that as well. I will say we have the awesome responsibility of placing and empowering everyone's lives, not just an individual, but the whole family. And so I just encourage you to come out and be a part. I will say Dr. Alice Prince does a great job of making sure we're just as intentional and aggressive when we do it. So one thing I will say, we're out in the community. We're in those places that some may not come to, like you're mentioning, North St. Louis. You will see Slate everywhere. And I think that's awesome. And I just want to make sure we be more intentional and aggressive right now to make sure you take that intentional and aggressive approach for your family and for yourself. To get this information and this literature for me and actually come in, but not only do that, give me your name and number afterwards about the training. If it's your son that's about training, if it's your parents or something, we want to make sure we capture everyone in this community to be a part. Like you said, about knocking down buildings areas, everyone can play a part in helping in this community. And I think this is a great way to start, is to educate and to train and to know that we got the money and the funds to help with that training is just awesome to me. Are there any questions on that right now? I do want to make sure that you come and see me afterwards. Is there anything else you would like me to mention?
Tim had talked about the trash. We have a trash task force in the St. Louis Police Department. And so for those of you that see people that are dumping in your alleys or dumping close to you or near you, we have a trash task force. The commander of the trash task force is Sergeant Calabro. Sergeant Calabro. If people are dumping in your alley and there is trash, we will come out and put up a covert camera. We won't tell you where it is. We'll put up an infrared camera in the area. We'll get license plates, and we will prosecute them. And so, what's interesting about the trash task force is that I'm seeing a lot of cameras around the city, but not in this community. And it's because you have to request it. And so, not only after you request it, we'll give you $100. Because what we're trying to do is we're trying to clean it up. Because oftentimes the people that are dumping in our community, they don't live in our community. Some of them don't even live in the city or the county. They come from Jefferson County. They come from Illinois. They come from other places. And they'll dump on a lot next to your house. And so we want to make sure that you know that we have a trash task force. The commander is Sergeant Calabro. If you contact the police department, he will have a conversation with you. We'll make sure you get your check, and we'll put those cameras out there, and we will prosecute. C as in cat, Calabro. Callabro. Calabro. All right, thank you. If you call the police, they're gonna put you in contact with Calabro. If it's dumping, anybody dumping, we want to catch the dumping. You're gonna call the police department. They're gonna put you in contact with Calabro. He is the if you say anything like the business area, we'll come up and we'll put in a preliminary account. And so I think that we're probably up to about 200 cameras that we have around the city. Yes.
What about businesses that have like junk all around their cup, their acres? Okay.
Building inspector as well. All right. All right.
Once again, I do encourage that those positions that the city of St. Louis need laborers to pick up the trash in the parks and things like that, and that's an immediate need. So please, please come to Slate and register and get your application, and let's get in as soon as possible. Thank you.
You gave another word. We almost said it too. We almost come on. Not yet. But we're gonna get to that. Now that would be she was talking about community service for the people that's already incarcerated.
We do community service. We don't do it. And the reason we don't do it is we won't bring people that just got out of jail and put them in the house because I'm concerned about burglary and all that other stuff. So we're very careful about it. So while we do it, our staff will do it. Just so they can work on it.
Actually, in our big last year, there were some people that assisted us that were out there doing community service in the park. Yes, ma'am. Okay. The reason I asked is it was very helpful for the community that I was handicapped in. Every block area from 50, 100 Cali all the way to 52. They actually cleaned up and everything. Kept it all in sight. But that was working also through the neighborhood segregation office.
So this district position works for me, but the district just takes somebody behind your house.
He is the organization. At the point, we're talking about she talked about briefly about what her program was, but I'm going to say before she comes on, what is her need? Her need is to bring
Friday warm line. And I supervise the volunteers that are on site, the interns, and all the people that staff that helpline. Some of the questions that we get are surrounding mental illness, but they also might be surrounding homelessness, joblessness. Um, somebody needs a general practitioner. So we get all sorts of questions on our helpline that is available in your community. Also, we have basics, which is an educational component. So if you have like a child, a grandchild who's displaying symptoms of a mental illness, maybe they're having some behaviors at church, at school, whatever that concern you, and you just want to be educated on what might be going on with them, that's a 6-week course. That's free of charge. Peer to peer. If I have a diagnosis of a mental illness and I want to teach someone who also has a diagnosis how to live a better life, how to stay on their medication, how to find a good therapist and psychiatrist, that is an 8-week course. And then family to family. So I taught this years ago. My mother and my brother both deal with major depressive disorder. So I taught other family members in a 12-week course. So I want to plug those programs as well. Then also family support groups that can be important just to talk about your loved one, about some of the symptoms that are frustrating to you. And then connections. I don't want to flood you with tons of information, but we obviously have a resource table. I would indicate, we talked a lot about policing programs. We do assist the crisis intervention teams. So if you're dealing with your loved one who is symptomatic and who is violent and you're needing to call 911, you're not going to want to ask for just any officer. You're going to want to ask for a crisis intervention team, CIT trained officer to come out to your home. Because the idea is that you don't want to take that individual to jail. They are not a criminal. They're having a mental health crisis. So you're wanting the police to come in, de-escalate the situation, and take that person to a mental health facility, a behavioral health unit. Yes, ma'am? Exactly. Yes. So she was saying that you have an ADHD, a person with. Oh, okay. Right. So she was saying she worked for a special school district, saw a lot of behaviors probably all day, every day. Okay, right, right. So we don't want to escalate a situation. We want the police officers to be trained. CIT is a 40-hour at least. We're going to them. We're assisting in a 40-hour training so that they can get more information about mental illness. It's not something that they typically learn at the academy. Did you guys have any questions surrounding what we do, where we're located? So the helpline, please grab one of my business cards or any of our flyers has the number to the helpline, 314-962-4670. If your loved one is having a mental health crisis, we have a behavioral health response cards at our table. But again, you can call 911 and ask to have a CIC trained officer out there. Some people do not want to give names. They don't want, they call like with an unknown number. That's perfectly fine. Um, we don't need any demographics to give out referrals, to give out information. Maybe it's just a number to a psychiatrist, a number to a therapist. That's fine. Yeah, we can take any of those questions. Yes, ma'am. CIT is in many different states. Um, it could be possible that somebody answering the call might not be schooled enough. Maybe they're new, they don't know what CIT is. I mean, I can't speak to that. I would say that if you are indicating that the person is having mental health symptoms of any kind, they should, but it would be nice for you to maybe take a flyer home with you and CIT. I really try to encourage people to keep that stuff on their fridge or in a special place so that when a crisis happens, you're not scrambling then. You can't think then. You're in crisis. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Were you going to say something? Yeah, that's right. And this plan is really helpful as well. It talks about all the programs. Yes. I was talking about CIT. Right. 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 Right, right. Because when anyone is symptomatic, you know, they're not able to ask for what they need. They don't know what they need. They're in a real brain fog. I mean, mental illness is a disorder, is as important to have mental health as it is to have physical health.
I was going to say, just to reinforce that mental illness, one of the things last year, Mr. Bruce Frank had visited with his family, and we talked about mental illness. And what I was going to say is that don't be afraid or don't be ashamed to get mental health services because, especially because of your belief in God. You know, because sometimes people say that they won't do that because of their belief in God. But I will say this is that when I had to take my medicine, it wasn't because of my faith in God. It was because of my flesh. It didn't have anything to do with my spirit. And I just want to say that to people because a lot of people, and Bruce Frank, she said it on your live Facebook, how that sometimes the church will make you think that you don't need to go get mental health services. Only thing you need to do is go back to the bench or go back to the preacher and things like that. But I beg the difference. Yes, God is able to heal and He will heal. But I believe that He also has given people with knowledge to help with the He gives people knowledge. So I don't want people to it's actually, and I'm going to just simply say it was this young lady right here, Brady. I was at a health fair with her, and I ended up telling my testimony at a health fair where we worked at the time, and it was because I had a behavioral health issue, and then I'm a preacher. And I had, it was like, well, looked at me just like you just did. Ain't nothing wrong with me. Ain't nothing wrong with God. All right? Anything else about Louis County? They have a board back there. They have a table back there. Please get some information to share with your church. Take information to share with your loved ones that may be ashamed to go because they're preaching.
Real quick, on the CIT that she mentioned, I just want to say that if you don't have a CIT officer in your local police department, or if you don't have a CIT officer, you can request one. There should be one in every police station. That's very important. There's no CIT group as far as the meeting to branch out to their own individual police department. So I just don't want you to just, if there's a crisis, but like you said, out on the street, whatever, it's best if you would just call the police and say, I'm looking for a CIT office for this individual. Just so they'll be aware that there's another condition besides what someone may think it is.
So the key word is CIT. When you in the community or you your loved one, and they need some help, and you have to call the police, tell them you need what kind of officer? A CIT officer. All right. We want to go to recap. I'm not forgetting about it. You're new, so you're going to the new stuff. This is a very cool program.
RECAST stands for Resiliency in Communities After Stress and Trauma. Resiliency in Communities After Stress and Trauma. And essentially, what RECAST is all about is getting the community's voice. We focus on the St. Louis Promise Zone, which is comprised of 11 wards in North St. Louis and 27 municipalities in North County. And so it's all about getting community, putting a platform to get residents heard in the areas of four target areas, which are youth engagement, mental health, peer support, and violence prevention. If I said that I had $650,000, how would you spend it? Would y'all have some ideas for me? Okay, exactly. That's what recast is all about. So essentially, what happens is we recruit and we'll start in July, but I'm here to get information from people to keep you engaged until we get there. But what happens is basically we have community, what we call community delegates. Community delegates are residents within that St. Louis Promise Zone. So you all right here, you already qualify. All you have to do is be at least 11 years old. So like people have mentioned about having different programs where we can have that intergenerational conversation and input. Recast is all about that. Over the course of 4 weeks, just one time per week, we'll have committees on those four target areas that we talked about. You're free to choose which committee you would like to be on, and during that time frame, your group will just develop a scope of work. You'll decide what projects you want to happen with that money, what projects you want to happen in terms of violence prevention, youth engagement, mental health, and peer support. Together as a group, you all will create that scope of work, and then in turn, myself and colleagues will go back and turn that into an RFP or a request for proposal. Put that out on the St. Louis County Department of Health website, and then different organizations will submit their proposals as to how they believe they can fulfill that idea that you all came up with. So once they submit those ideas, we'll also have people, delegates, who will go through that proposal and rank it, and they'll reduce those proposals down to a certain number, and then from there, all those ideas will go out to the community, and we'll have community voting, and residents within that promise zone vote on which project that they want to see implemented. And then the organizations have 1 year, so they get the money for a year to do just that. So recast is just all about getting the community's voice. Delegates who participate in that process, We are currently in year 3. So in these past 2 years, some different organizations that may or may not be familiar with that have been funded through recast, Annie Malone, let's see. I'm not gonna name all of them, despite it, but St. Louis Artworks, Employment Connection, Annie Malone, You and I Rise, North Bluestead Association, just to name a few. So it's also a really cool opportunity for anyone that has an organization, whether it's a larger organization or a more grassroots community organization. At the same, just like community, there is opportunities obviously to be funded. So it's a competitive process because the community is doing the voting as far as the win of that money. But that's how recast works. If there are any questions, I'll gladly take it. And then afterwards too, I'll be here. I have the information. More information if you can be in a community associate or if you want more information about recast. Yes, ma'am. Okay, I want to speak. So it's 11 wards within St. Louis, and then those and 20. I'm not name all 27 municipalities, but as far as the six wards, it's wards 1 through 5, 18, 19, 21, 22, 26, and 27. As far as the 11, yes, ma'am. 1 through 5, 18, 19, 21, 22, 26. And then if anyone was interested in knowing some of those 27 municipalities, Belvidere, University, Belmore, Harmony, Wellston, Belda Village, Beatles, Belda City, Hazelwood, Hillsdale, Jenny, Kinlock, Bowling Acres, Riverview, Pineline, Hakesdale, Northwood, Uplands Park, think I named them, but if you are unsure if your community falls in that, afterwards, and then any you can, and so you just have to be a resident to be to vote as part of that community voting part. But you can participate as a delegate, and I'll be here afterwards. You're welcome.
Maybe you need to come in the middle of these people because we can't hear you. You okay?
Okay, one more time. Can you all hear me? Yes. Okay, I am Shauna Daniels. I am with Great Rivers Greenway. Great Rivers Greenway is a regional government agency that supports St. Louis City, St. Louis County, and St. Charles County. Essentially, what we do is build greenways that connect, we build a network of greenways that connect our parks, our rivers, our existing trails, our streams. We are currently focusing on a vision of building a 600-mile network of 45 in the Tri-County region. We currently have about 125 miles of greenway built. Active greenway, we have about 200 miles planned. One of the reasons why we're here today is because we have an opportunity to bring the greenways to St. Louis City that we're really excited about. We're trying to get information, some feedback from the community about this proposal. This would be for the Shoto Greenway. The Shoto Greenway would connect the Forest Park to the St. Louis Arts, going east-west, or west-east. And then it would also connect Tower Grove to Fairgrounds. So this is a really broad stretch area that would really mix the communities together design and development and building of this greenway. And then on the back end, what do we need to make certain that everybody can use it and feel safe and feel like they are welcome in the state. Again, with Great North Greenway being a regional government entity, we are actually paid by taxpayer dollars. So this greenway belongs to the region. Okay? So we want to make certain that everybody has a voice in this process and has an opportunity to share their feedback, information, and be part of the actual planning and design of the greenway. So we have a table back behind you. Darcy has been great. She's been here all afternoon to talk to folks. I want to make sure that you guys get a chance to get this brochure. Take a look at our network of greenways. We've got greenways, 16 greenways, 125 miles built to date. But we want to make certain that we are able to get into communities so that everyone has access to opportunities to exercise, to teach kids how to ride a bike, to enjoy nature. Greenways for all kinds of different reasons. Greenways are gathering spaces. They're basically, I call them active spaces that connect people in places. So we want to make sure that greenways have opportunities in places. They're also transportation systems. There's some people may have to get back to work, to school. We've got a greenway right now that goes through this. It comes out, jumps out into Tatesdale. We're going to take it to Tatesdale to Wilson. So we're going to just sort of skirt around View City and come to the Forest Park. We've already got greenways that are connecting educational institutions, that are connecting services, that are connecting residences, that are connecting neighborhoods, that are connecting people. And we want to make sure we have an opportunity to bring people to the city so we can connect the neighborhoods and take the city a little better as well. So if you have questions, concerns, feel free to
is that a greenway that's over by, what is that, Delmore?
Delmar, there is a greenway, St. Vincent Greenway.
Okay, okay.
St. Vincent. And so these greenways can be kind of long. So the one that I just talked about, Soda Greenway, that's about 15 miles that we're talking about. Okay. Some of our greenways, we're going to be building a greenway called the Maylene Greenway, which is going to go from the riverfront on the north side, the North Riverfront, cut through. Oh gosh, I'm going to get this. It's about 7 municipalities. It's going to go through Belmont neighborhoods. And actually, we're building in Belmont neighborhoods right now. It's going to go through Jennings. It's going to go through Ferguson. It's going to go through Hopewell. I mean, it's just going to come on all the way through to Upton. And then I already mentioned that we have a greenway that's already at the Upton campus that comes down through Kingsdale and goes west. So again, the idea is to create a network of these greenways that will connect to communities. You know what? I'm going to ask one question before I, leave the floor. Do you guys have a good understanding of what a greenway actually is?
What I'm saying is just a walking area, and it has like historical, it has historical information on it.
Right.
Okay.
It's a wider than a sidewalk. Wide greenways tend to be like 10 to 12 feet wide to give people safe passing on either side. So you have bikes and people walking and people pushing a stroller or people using a wheelchair on the greenway. It's multimodal. And also, like we said, there are markers. So they'll give you information along the way as you're going along the greenway that talks about things like the history of that place that you're in. It could talk about the nature, talk about, some of our greenways are built along rivers or creeks. So as we're building along Maylene, and Maylene is actually a creek that's through west from the riverfront. It will talk about the creek and how we keep the creek healthy, and it'll talk about restoration of pit beds and things like that. So that as you're walking or riding, you're learning about your environment, you're learning about the history of the community. So that's one of the things that we want to make certain that as we're building the Shoto Green, we're mindful of history and communities that we will be going through. Again, as we're going from Tower Road to Fairgrounds, there's a lot of history coming along that. And the other thing is that we don't have an alignment yet. We're conceptually seeing ourselves going from Tower Road to Fairgrounds, from Forest Park to the Arch. There's no specific street yet because we need to hear from the community to say which streets or which areas are the safest. Do we need to have most of this greenway off street it's not, so it's not along these major areas, but maybe it needs to be built along the railroad corridor. But we need to hear from the community to know that. So that's why we're out. We'll be out in the community a lot over the next probably a couple of years. It takes a long time to do the bridge. So we'll be out a lot. We want to hear from everybody. We want everybody to be a part of the process. Again, greenways they're yours. We're all paying for them. We're all for everybody. So we want to make sure everybody has a piece of it. Feels like they own a part of it. Because that's what this is all about. So visit Darby. She's over in the corner. This is our brochure. We would also love it if you would fill out with equity cards. It says when I pick equity for Total Greenway, it says, I want to change what about St. Louis or what about my community in order to get what desired outcome. So we want to hear about what this Greenway could actually bring to the city of St. Louis that might help improve.
Greenway is a pathway. We all get that forward, that first forward, and make sure that we put this information so that you have an idea of what we want in our community. Am I correct? We're almost done here. It's 3:45 and I'm very functional. Instead of even forward. But this young lady was going to answer.
forward. Yes. We have work cards, live have work cards, we also have brochures with our website and our telephone number and our information on it. So feel free to get those.
All right. The civilian oversight board. This is a lot of information about the city of St. Louis and what they existing programs and services that they have. We're moving on. We're moving on. We have talked about the key existing community organizations. One thing I want to say is that we are going to develop organizations like representatives about when someone works in a business, whoever it was, able to represent justice, service. Well, we need that same kind of mindset in North St. Louis. I think that if we can, and this is going down to number 3, one of the things that Temple of Praise Ministries is going to be adamant about is pressing some kind of legislation bill. We're going to be talking again with those panelists that was here and some more panelists that were supposed to be here on introducing some type of bill that's going to secure some justice for North St. Louis. We want to make sure that because they are, North St. Louis is considered one of the most poorest neighborhoods in the city. We want to make sure that these people are guaranteed to have some kind of assurance that, okay, maybe a percentage of the jobs that's coming in with the big building projects, that maybe 5% of those jobs can go to North St. Louis. If we want to put in something that's going to say, something that's going to build North St. Louis so it won't be considered a high-risk community. So that is where Temple of Praise Ministry is going with the community. And activate the word.
We don't see them at all. And it's evident. Look at our neighbors. We got to start making them start writing letters. We feel their dance above their heads with proposals and letters, telling them that we're sick and tired of our neighborhood looking like it is. We have a budget for our neighborhood. Let's use it for our neighborhood.
Well, I want you to get on board with Temple of Praise Ministry because I believe you'll be an asset to the ministry.
We have a revolutionary.
Yes, ma'am.
But also the thing about why you keep the same people in office, then they're not doing anything. That makes no sense. Every term and session, you got the same people. I would like to give them a report card because you ought to be able to grade based on what the area looks like. See what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
And all of them get S.
I need you on my team too.
Come on. Because your area should reflect the person that you keep putting in office. And if that person is doing nothing, they need to be gone. And not only on the local level, but the state level and the government. Same thing. Why keep putting these people in office and you put them in office and they're supposed to be doing what's supposed to be for the people and they're not. And then you put them back in there so you can stand up and get a picture. No. That's right. You want the citizens to be accountable. But then, what do you do? If you got high crime in your ward, something wrong. So are you advocating for your ward and your people, or what are you doing? And see, that's the way I feel about it. I feel it's important, like I said, especially from 40 up to, up here, F, F.
Well, the thing is, Temple Praise Ministries, and let me
go on because I want to say something about I'm in with all this stuff we're doing. The last thing I'm going to say as far as this presentation, and this is the last part of it, is the merge. And what I discussed with those leaders who just left, and I told them about the peer plan. That's why they said something about they're going to re-energize it again. Well, it's been in place since 2015, and it was for crime. The 2015 sustainability plan that the city of St. Louis has written for itself is 300 implementation strategies. And how many of those strategies can we see in North St. Louis? This young man right here represents the comptroller of Green. And this is what we give him things to take back to the comptroller. And we're saying to them, okay, you have the money already allocated. We saying to the comptroller, can you help us get this money into North St. Louis where it belongs? I'm not yelling. That was the preaching side. You know, so that is what we're trying. We're asking the comptroller to help us say that, hey, we have programs in mind that can lessen the burdens of the government. That can decrease some of the fines, some of the taxes owed, if we can do something. That can also, again, empower North St. Louis by empowering North St. Louis. So come on, let's close this out before our last person. And we're not going to ask them for much. They're not going to get you.
I'm here on behalf of Garland Green. Our office is Garland Green. We're basically the finance arm of the city government. We try to make sure your tax dollars are spent responsibly and where they need to go. You can't hear me? You can't hear me? Okay. Yeah, we try to make sure your tax dollars are spent responsibly and go where they need to go. I know a lot, they know some of this list, but we try to do our best to what we can.
It's been going on too long. Let me just ask one question. You said, and I'm not gonna put you on the spot. But I want to know what is it that we can do as a community, as voices that can help push this Green for that department into other ways of spending money. Is there some meetings? Is there some? How can we get involved?
I know if you have a program idea or where we can do better, our office is always open. Schedule meetings. We're always willing to meet with you. We can work, to see what we can do.
Where do you find where the money goes? Where can you read that?
The budget is online at the city center website.
And my concern is vacant homes in North St. Louis. Where do we call for vacant houses that we can sell out?
Well, let me say something right there. You're talking about the vacant houses, and one of the things that we're trying to do is a program that will have the citizens. You say it's vacant houses in your area. We want the citizens to be able to take them houses down. We want them to build a skill. That's what we're trying to get to. So right now, I guess you have to call the city. But our goal is to knock down not one, not two. We can knock down all of them. We can. If we put a program together that's just focusing on the abandoned housing, it can be done. But what we're saying is that, and again, your question is to him. It can be done now. Maybe he can answer that. But I'm saying that we need something that's going to be done for the sustainability.
development agency that we can contact them about those houses. The St. Louis Development Corporation. Dollar Home Program. Yeah. And that's the St. Louis. St. Louis.
Who gets those bricks that they, when they tear down the house and they put them on top, who gets the money for those bricks? Or where would I look?
I would.
Okay, so it's original brick. They'll never do brick like that. And they sell the brick and the marble and all that stuff. So I want to see if they go back to the, the other agency or where they go. Or even directly.
I would.
So much. Let me end by saying I want to thank everybody that came in to participate. I want to most definitely thank my panelists that came in. And yes, sir, you have a question.
This position here to have this meeting because you got so much outside noise and people can't hear. Now we got rooms over there and we can't hear.
This is where they we're talking with Mr. West about the future. So that came up too to go about the facility that was just beyond our Temple of Praise Ministries control. Okay. So I want to thank everybody for coming out. I'm going to give you all one of these packets for coming. Look here, you've been giving me trouble. You've been eyeballing me. Get up, come on, here, get this.